Yo, what's going on, Peter, CJ, Carson, Gokul, Guggen? What's going on, boys? How you guys doing? I hope you guys had a fantastic day like I did. I have to do it on a different screen now because my media team says the other monitor's too wide. But I'll try to do my best here. Back on my laptop at least, so that's good. So we had a big dip on Fed Day. I literally called out this whole scenario before everything happened. You guys know it. It was pretty obvious to me he wasn't going to taper with the whole Delta variant stuff. What's up, Saab? What's up, Yash? Maka's in here. So it was pretty obvious to me he wasn't going to taper. Still, it's still a binary event. We don't know for sure, right? But I told you guys most likely there'll be no taper, and this should be a dip that we should be able to buy. And what happened was, as soon as the Fed finished, we went down. I loaded SPY calls, hit those. It came back down on an overreaction, loaded it again. Today, those same SPY calls that we bought at 155 yesterday, they were going for about $5. So if you held them, congrats. I sold mine at around 250-ish, something like that. I don't even remember. There's so many good trades today. But other than that, it looks like we're going right back to all-time highs. Everything looks fine. No change from the Fed. No policy change. No taper. No bad systemic news. Evergrande isn't going to affect us, I don't think, in my opinion. Even if it does affect us, what do you have to worry about? Evergrande, when Lehman Brothers went under in 2008, the first time they had problems, they didn't go under until like 5 or 6 months after that. So Evergrande, this is the first time we're hearing about their problems, so I wouldn't worry about them for 3-4 months at least. Even if they do affect us, which I don't think they do. I mean, Evergrande is like a $30 billion company, and Fed pumps $120 billion into reverse repos all the time, so I don't see how it can affect US or Canada. What's going on? Gurvinder's in here, Joe Quan. Professor, you never message in the group no more. What are you doing, man? Where's all them fire spread plays? But still an uptrend. Everything looks good. Daily, we broke the daily uptrend. We did do some consolidation because people front ran the OPEX every single month. 19th is a dip. Obviously, people are going to catch on to that after 6-7 months. And people started hedging way before the OPEX week. So that's why we got a little more selling than usual. And that's why we had this major gap down. In my opinion, this candle right here, where is this? Let's just draw an arrow. Arrows are easier. So this candle right here would have been on the 50-day moving average on the 19th if this was like every other month. But like I said, bears started front running the OPEX. So they seen the same pattern every single month on the 19th for OPEX, and they started selling before it. So obviously they started selling here, and we just dumped straight down. This candle would have been above the 50-day if they didn't front run the OPEX, just in my opinion. So I'm expecting the same kind of like crack back. Like, look at this. Dip, rip to all-time highs. Dip, rip to all-time highs. Dip, rip to all-time highs. Same thing every single time. Dip, rip to all-time highs. So do we get the same reaction? This time we have a little bit further to go, so we might need to set a lower daily high, and then a higher low, and then up. Here, let me try to draw it, even though it's even harder on this screen and I already suck at drawing. Where's this paintbrush, yo? There it is. So yeah, so what I'm expecting is I don't expect this move right here, straight to all-time highs. I think we have to set a higher daily low and then go back to all-time highs. So we do need some consolidation before heading back to all-time highs, in my opinion, so just keep an eye out for that. Other than that, the weekly still in a bull trend, the monthly still in a bull trend. Longer term, we are still bullish. We held the 21-day perfectly this week so far. If we close above 432.45, the weekly trend is still intact. We're still bullish. Everything is fine. As you see back here, we touched the 21-day. Back here, we touched the 21-day. Over here, we almost touched the 21-day. So everything looks absolutely fine to me longer term. Still bullish. Let's see what happens, especially with the price action today. There was financials going up, there was small caps going up, there was technology going up, and that's the signs of a bullish market. When market breadth is good, that's the sign of a bullish market. QQQ, same thing, filled the gap today. We're going right back up to all-time highs. Might need a higher daily low before we go, so we might need a little bit of consolidation before we go all the way. Audio is fine, but video kind of choppy. Sorry, bro. I thought I fixed the problem. Yeah, it's just you, Turkey. Buy a new monitor with all that money you made today. XLF, strongest by far. Financials are super strong, so we got, look at this. QQQ Inspire just now filling the gap. XLF filled the gap and then some. So we're already headed back to all-time highs on XLF. If we get this through this huge volume shelf at the 38 38.10, 38.15-ish level. If we get through that, we're going back to all-time highs on XLF, in my opinion. Other than that, it's the strongest sector. Already filled the gap, and now it's following through. QQQ just filled the gap today. SPY just filled the gap today on the daily. So XLF strongest. IWM, just insane chart. Look at this. Would you imagine this is an index? And this is very healthy consolidation. If you look at it, it's just a bull flag. Oh God. So just a straight bull flag across, just consolidating for the next move. Like, how is this an index? Look at the move on this thing. This looks like a penny stock to me. Straight up in a line, bull flag consolidation. Let's see if we get followed through tomorrow. Honestly, with moves this big on the indexes, it might even consolidate tomorrow as well. So don't be surprised if we're down or a little sideways tomorrow. There was a huge move today, huge move yesterday. So we might need some time. And as well as XLF, IWM's even stronger because we overtook the day before we gapped down, we already overtook that high on IWM, whereas XLF also did. QQQ still has a lot of time to go. Over 377.87 would be where QQQ needs to be, and SPY would have to be over 445.37 to be as far as IW and XLF are. So XLF, IWM strongest, QQQ, SPY behind a little bit, but a lot of tech names ripped today. You guys seen it. Chillin', Joss. How are you doing, man? I hope you had a good day. ES, nothing really to go over here. Bitcoin right back, so Bitcoin's back in my range here. This was the range I was watching just off this inside day. You guys know about the range. I'm not going to repeat it over and over again. Plus, there's 5 digits. It's hard to say sometimes. Right back into the range. So let's see if we can get follow through and go back to the top of the range. If we do get follow through and go back to the top of the range, obviously, we are not going to rip from here straight to all-time highs, okay? We have to go up, set a lower daily high, and then a higher daily low, and then slowly make our way up here. All right, so the trend has to change first, and then we can talk about getting back to these highs over here. We're not going to go straight from 39,000 all the way to these highs at 53,000 almost, okay? So we need to change the trend. We need to set a higher daily low and a higher high, and then we'll slowly move back to those highs. Miners are lagging. I don't know what that means. Oh, Mara and Riot and stuff. Yeah, maybe. I don't even watch them anymore. I have any equity. That's the only play I think I have in my stock account for this. Other than that, I just own straight crypto. All right, so Netflix. Let's go over the chart for the 50th time now. Weekly breakout after a year, retest, bounce. One of my favorite, most bullish setups. Yesterday we were buying in 605s and 610s. Got our rip, got huge gains, 60% in an hour on both those. Sold a bunch of them, holding a bunch of them. Today we got a little bit of follow through, but for the rest of the day we went sideways. What I like about Netflix is it makes a big move. Look at this. So it's just, this was the range box. I'll just draw it. Some of you guys are visual learners. All right, so we have a range here, right? When it broke out of the range, look at the move, 10-point move. We had a range here. When it broke down from this range, 10-point move down. So Netflix is a very range-bound stock kind of thing. Look at this box right here. Once it broke out of this box, 10 points down. So what I'm watching for on Netflix here is this range. We need to close above this range at 596. If we close above 596, I think 606 comes either tomorrow or next week sometimes. That's why I'm still holding a few of those calls. But other than that, my trade here is done. Everything I have left can go to zero and I'll still be huge in profits. If it rips, I still have enough that it pays me nicely. So that's where you want to be in trading. You want to have so many profits, you don't care if it goes to zero. But if it does go up, you still have stuff to be happy about. You know what I mean? So yeah, I had BTBT. It was a piece of shit. It took a lot of money from my account, so I don't trade it anymore. I don't even look at it. Matt's laughing in the background. AMD. So this is the daily breakout I'm watching on AMD. I've asked like 4 different traders. They all have different drawings on this wedge on AMD. But this is what I had drawn out. So this one was here. Huge breakout, right? More consolidation, wedged up again. And breakout again. Let's see if we get some follow through on here. We had an upgrade to 120 on AMD. Semiconductor chips look super strong. And the weekly looks almost the same. If you look at the weekly, we're just breaking out now. Back here, it took 4 weeks straight. And breakout, huge breakout, and now we have 4 weeks again. Let's see if we get that huge breakout. If we do get the same breakout, that means next week on AMD, we should have a 15% move. I'm not saying we will, but if it follows the exact same pattern next week, AMD goes up 15%. So it's worth holding those. I did sell a ton of mine for 50% today. It's just because I went really, really heavy in the October 8th 110 calls, and I had 50% in a day, so I had to take a lot off. But other than that, I still have enough that'll make me money if the rest go to zero. It's free. That's just how I trade. Twitter, huge run today. Got that news. Another, show you the weekly chart for the 15th time again. So inverse head and shoulders forming weekly chart every time it touches the 50-day. Look at this huge dump off. Touch the 50-day, complete reversal back to all-time highs. So do we get that same pattern? Do we get the bump off the 50-day? So far, it's looking exactly the same. So in this week, we were up 5.26%. We already up 7% this week with tomorrow to go. If we do continue this, we have to break through the top of this wedge. If we break through the top of this wedge, I think we go back to all-time highs, which is $81. I think Twitter will go to $81 in the coming weeks. It might take 4 or 5 weeks, but that's the move I see on Twitter. And the technicals are just set up perfectly on this one, like beautifully. Even the monthly just flagging ready to go. Look at the monthly hammer candle. This is beautiful. Last time we had a monthly hammer candle, look, the next month we went up 19%. Any other hammer candles? Nope. I like Twitter. I still have some, but I did sell a bunch for 100% today. If you guys buy options, like I bought $70 calls on Twitter for October 15th yesterday. I got 100% on them today. Why the hell would I want to hold them till expiry? I know I could get maybe a 10 bagger, 15 bagger, whatever the hell. But, I mean, why not take 100%? I'll hold my last 50 contracts for the 10,000%. Even if they go to zero, I don't care about them. I already locked in enough profit. So that's how you must approach trading. You can't be greedy. Once you get greedy, that's when you get crushed. FOMO kills you, greed kills you in trading. Be a robot. BNTX, we need a 336 close. We got the 336 close. This thing's just basing after this huge weekly move. After a stock moves this much in like 4 weeks, that does need consolidation. We've been consolidating for a while now. Let's see if we break up or down. Under 336, I'm bearish on BNTX. Over 336, it could pop any day, any night, any time. So BNTX vaccines, they are not going anywhere. Moderna was the strongest vaccine today, even over BNTX. And look at the chart, much different than BNTX. So BNTX daily, we had that huge run up, and now we've been consolidating sideways for a long time, right? mRNA, huge run up, consolidation sideways, then we had another run up. We couldn't break the previous all-time high, but we're just consolidating. Like I said, I always say, when the stock was down here at 362, it's not going to run straight up to 500. What does it need to do? It needs to change the trend back in the favor of the bulls. So we need to go and set a lower daily high, and then a higher low, and then now we need to form another high, or take out all-time highs. Either or is fine. We just need to change the trend. So consolidate, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and then we finally get back to all-time highs. Amazon looked absolutely fantastic today. I am not in any Amazon, unfortunately. The daily does look kind of like a Head and Shoulders. So keep an eye for that. Other than that, like I told you guys, the weekly looks great. Doesn't look that bad to me. It looks like a bull flag almost. Monthly looks fine. Everything looks great on Amazon except for the daily. Tomorrow I am planning on taking a big position on Amazon. If I get a dip tomorrow, I will be entering a very large position on Amazon. You guys know I love taking Amazon, but I will give myself time and I'll go a little closer to the strike. So if you don't have a huge account, I don't recommend following it. SE, nailed this one twice in 2 days, I believe. Yeah, we hit it once yesterday, we hit it once today. It's a very easy stock to play. Relative strength, one of my favorite companies. It'll always get bought up. There's not too many people shorting this because if you're short it, you're a moron. And literally all I do for SE, it's so easy. Just look for stochastics. So RSI barely ever gets oversold. If it does get oversold, I will load this. Like, look at this. Big gap down, right? Look at the RSI down here, and look at the rip we got. In 10 minutes, we went from 326 all the way to 335. So we had an $11 move on SE in 10 minutes the last time the RSI was oversold. So RSI doesn't get too oversold. So what I do in this one usually is just stochastics. Today I was watching this one. It was slow stow for right here. I jumped in 350 calls for next week at $3 and no $2. $3. Was it $3.10? I think it was $3 and something cents. Sold them for $4 within like 10-15 minutes. So SC is solid. I love this company long term. I don't think I've ever lost when I've played options or equity on it. So love that one. Shop. So Shop, we took lottos at the end of the day, very light, just with all the winnings that we had today. The magic number for Shopify, if we gap up open above 1480, this thing's gonna run all day. If we don't gap up open above 1480, even if we get above 1480 tomorrow on Shopify, I think we run at least to 1500. At least to 1500. And I think we go farther. These Shopify lottos have the chance to go 500x on us, so we could make a big killing tomorrow. Let's see if we gap up tomorrow. It's very important. If we do gap up, they're going to add premium into those 1500 calls like that. Shopify calls, even with 1 day left, they should not be $2.50 like we got them for. Shopify, $20 out of the money, even with 1 day left. They used to be like $6-7 at least. So watch Shopify tomorrow. If we do get a big move, those have potential to go crazy. Other than that, I'm not playing it long term. I don't really like this setup, but short term I do for a pop. Twilio. So I told you guys I like Twilio calls today. I sent you guys a chart the other day. This was an inflection point at 330 here, 332. There's also a horizontal resistance and there's an ascending resistance here on Twilio, right? See this right here, support, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, and support again. So there's an ascending ascending support and a horizontal support, which is two supports, which means it's an inflection point. If it breaks down below 332, it's done for a long time. If it holds 332, it could go all the way back up to 390, 380, 390 to the top of this wedge at least. So that's why I said today I like Twilio calls. We held that support. Now we're slowly bringing it back up. Stochastics are still under. So on the daily, we do have some room to move up. You see these stochastics back here? Like, look how they were dumping down here. And then when they turned up, we got that big run, right? So dumping down here, turned up, big run. So that's just how I use them. Other than that, Twilio looks fine. Let's go over Palantir. There's a lot of flow in Palantir. If you guys knew how much equity I had, that's why you'd know why I don't watch Palantir every day. It makes me sick. But Palantir, if we close tomorrow above 2750, Palantir is going for the races. It's going crazy. $30 is next in my opinion. It's going to be a straight shot to $30 if we close above 2750 tomorrow. The weekly breakout is 2750. If we close below 2750, we're going to chop around in the equilibrium for a while. Other than that, don't care. What else we got here? We got I'm not looking at BTBT. It gives me nightmares. AFRM, super relative strength today. So we got that news about Amazon, big gap up, flagged. Got that news on earnings, big gap up, flagged. Got that news about Walmart at the close today on AFRM, big gap up. So do we get the same type of move? Last time we moved from about 69 all the way to 101. So we got a $30 move on the Amazon news. On earnings, we got to move from 92 to 126, so about a $30 move on earnings. So $30 move Amazon, $30 move on earnings, and now do we get a $30 move on Walmart? A $30 move would mean 115 to 145. Today we closed at 126. Do we have another 20 points in AFRM? Very, very possible. So just watch the pattern. Let's just write that out here for the people. They like subtitles. 30-point moves on big news. 145 possible. I'm not saying it's going to 145. I'm saying it's possible every time we have big news on AFRM. We get 30 points. And we'll do APPS, and then I got to go to the gym. APPS, very strong. This one was added to the SPY 400, I believe, last week or something. SPY 400 mid cap, something like that. There's big news on it. Huge volume. Look at the size of this volume right here. So this is exactly what you want to see, right? This was the day that they announced the news. They got added to the S&P 400 mid cap or something. Went up 14% and just kept running. Flagged after a big move, and now it's running up again. So what do we have here on here? I'll show you something. I haven't even looked at the chart for a long time, but I don't know what that does. Okay, so Cool.
Nike.
Cool.
Earnings.
So we got a little inverse head and shoulders action here with the neckline already broken. Very bullish chart. It's very hard for me to find an entry here after it's run so much. But you see the inverse head and shoulders, the break. If you're in it, congratulations. If you're not in it, do not FOMO in here, in my opinion. Next resistance is up here at about 80 bucks. Yeah, so it would just be this range right here. This would be the next resistance between $75.50 and $80 is the next resistance. Other than that, it looks very strong. Let's see if it flags out here under 75 for a few days. If it consolidates under 75, it might be worth a shot. And if it builds enough momentum, it could rip right through 80. So keep an eye on APPS. Looks really good. Dheeraj, I'll do Tesla because your name is cool, I guess. I'm never going to the gym. Yeah, Tesla looks fine. I mean, we went over Tesla so many times. Yesterday, it showed relative strength. Today, it showed relative weakness. When everything else was running today, Tesla was going sideways. When everything else was going down yesterday, Tesla was going up. So it might just need a little more consolidation before we rip. Other than that, I mean, it looks fantastic. There's nothing wrong with this chart at all. Let's see. Tesla needs a break of 760. A close above 760. And Tesla should fly. Whoa. Okay, so that's all there is for Tesla. 760 upper, and to the downside, you do not want to see it take out these lows right here. If it takes out the lows at 718, of course that's a huge range. Tesla is a very volatile name. You need big ranges. It's very risky to trade this name just because of the volatility. This is the range between 720 and 760. If it does not hold above 760, it can stay in this range for a very long time. Just keep an eye out for it. I don't trade Tesla much, but Goldman Sachs and a few others in the room are very, very good at trading Tesla, so keep an eye for them. And thank you guys for attending. I hope you guys have a great night.